We Indians are obsessed with SUVs, compact SUVs, crossovers, and jacked up hatchbacks. Basically, anything which has a lot of road presence and looks tough is something that we want to own. But there are still people out there who prefer a good old sedan and the whole aura around it. Now, what I have here with me is the all-new Maruti Dzire, which I know is a compact sedan, but it is the quintessential entry-level sedan, which, as you can see, has been thoroughly updated for 2024. My name is Sagar, and in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 big changes that you need to know in case you're looking to buy the new Dzire. But before that, if you have been following our work and you like what you see, then please hit like and maybe even subscribe to our channel. Believe me, it really helps. Okay, the biggest update here is the whole new design, and if you happen to look at all the previous generations of the Dzire, you would know that this car has come a really long way when it comes to the looks and that feel-good factor. Now, if you ask me, the first and the second generations of the Dzire were far from good looking, but things changed dramatically with the third gen model, which I think had some sort of balance to the way it looked. You see this now, how it looks even better than the third gen model? Well, that's because the Dzire now gets a proper 3-box silhouette, and that's because there is a clear definition between the cabin and the boot lid area. Now, this sort of typical sedan-like profile is something that we have only seen in the Honda Amaze in the sub 4 meter category so far. Speaking of which, Honda is going to update the Amaze soon, and that car is going to be launched around the new Dzire. In terms of pure design changes, Maruti has given the Dzire a new lease of life because every panel is pretty much new. The front end now looks wider and sharper with a slimmer pair of LED headlights, a much bigger grille, and an entirely new bumper. Like many cars now in this price point, the Dzire also gets two-tone 15-inch alloy wheels which look good. At the back, the taillights have been given a new look, which reminds me of the A-Class sedan when you look at the lighting signature. All in all, the new Dzire is not just more proportionate as a 3-box sedan, but it is also a surprisingly good-looking car. Things like the much sharper looking front end, a strong shoulder line, and a well-defined boot section help it look more convincing than some of its rivals. The new Dzire measures 3995mm in length, and it sits on a wheelbase that's 2450mm long. To bring things in perspective, the wheelbase is similar to the Tata Tigor, although slightly shorter than the Honda Amaze. But on the other hand, it is the widest car here, and that's something that will reflect on the inside. So this is what the interior of the new Dzire is like. Now, in terms of look and feel, it looks exactly like the Swift. Well, that's because the Dzire is based on the new Swift like every other generation before it. Of course, there has to be some differentiation between the two cars when it comes to the look and feel, and in here the differentiation comes in two things. Firstly, you have this black and beige treatment going on inside the new Dzire. Well, it is to give this cabin a more upmarket feel that the sedans usually come with. So things like the dashboard, the fabric seats, and the door pads, well, they are all finished in this nice shade of beige. And you know what, this dual tone treatment, it really works in giving this cabin a more airy feel compared to the Swift. For reference, we will play visuals of both the new Dzire and the Swift, which gets the same look for the interior, but everything in that car is finished in all black to match the sporty nature of the Swift as we know it. Speaking of airiness and space, well, there's a good amount of both inside the cabin of the new Dzire. Now, in terms of pure space, well, I am 5'8", I have set the front seat to my driving position, and as you can see, I have more than enough legroom to deal with, and shoulder room is also decent, and you can have 3 adults in here with some amount of comfort. But if there is no middle passenger, you can use the extra space to fold down this armrest and be a little more comfortable. Now, in terms of comfort based features, I also have a dedicated rear AC vents. I've got 2 USB ports, and most important of all, there is enough room under the seat to stretch my legs and be extra comfortable. The new Dzire has improved big time when it comes to safety. Having crash tested by Global NCAP for crashworthiness, it is the first ever Maruti Suzuki model to score a full 5-star safety rating. Also, the body shell of the new Dzire was rated as stable and capable of withstanding further load. Now for some reference, the current generation Dzire scored a 2-star rating during the same test. In terms of features, the Dzire gets 6 airbags, ABS with EBD, ESC, reversing parking sensors, seatbelt reminder, and a speed alert system as standard. As for comfort and convenience features, the top spec model that we have here gets a 9-inch infotainment screen, wireless phone mirroring, air sound system, auto folding wing mirrors, LED fog lamps, connected car tech, cruise control, rear AC vents, wireless phone charging, and for the first time an electric sunroof and a surround view camera system. Other features include LED headlamps and tail lamps, rear defogger, climate control, TPMS, dual-tone interiors, and both Type-C and Type-A charging ports. The Dzire now has a brand new engine. Well, this is the new Z Series 3-cylinder engine which currently powers the Swift, and it will eventually go on to power a few other Maruti models. Now let me tell you straight away, this new 3-cylinder engine, well, it's got a very different character when compared to the old K Series engine in the old Dzire. Now in terms of power delivery, the old engine would deliver most of its power at the top end, say above 5000 RPM. But this new 3-cylinder engine has been tuned in such a way that it delivers most of its power at low to medium RPM range. Now the rationale behind this is to make this new engine feel even more potent, say below 4000 RPM, even though it's making 8 horsepower less than the old K series engine. So what does all of this translate to when you get behind the wheel and start driving this thing? Well, time to find out. The new Dzire is an easy car to drive, and that begins with the overall visibility that this car has to offer. I mean, even though it's a sedan, the driving position is fairly high. The A-pillar is also quite slim. The dashboard is set low, even though you have this touchscreen that sticks out, but the overall visibility is quite good. Even the rear side windows are fairly large, and the view that you get from the outside rear view mirrors is quite useful, and you can see exactly what's behind you. Add this nicely calibrated AMD automatic gearbox and this light steering to the overall visibility, and the Dzire makes for an extremely easy car to drive, especially in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Now in terms of pure performance of this new 3-cylinder engine, well, I cannot really feel that it's lacking that many horsepower over the old K series engine. And that's entirely down to how Maruti has tuned this new engine, and between idle and 3,500 RPM, it's got more than enough torque to get up to speed effortlessly. I mean, you can easily drive this car fully loaded in traffic or at moderate speeds, and it won't feel like it's struggling a lot. Acceleration feels strong, and you can keep this car in a gear higher than usual without having to worry about the engine knocking at low speeds. The new Dzire may seem a little lethargic on the highway, but when it comes to everyday traffic and driving in the city, well, this new engine is up to the task when it comes to dealing with slow speed commuting or stop and go traffic. Not that the current Dzire isn't a fuel-efficient sedan, and yet Maruti has improved the mileage on this new model by around 14%. The manual version has a claimed mileage of 24.79 kmpl, whereas the AMT version is even more fuel-efficient at 25.71 kmpl. Like in the new Swift, the Z series engine powering the Dzire is claimed to be more efficient and cleaner than the old K series engine. The Dzire is a Maruti Suzuki product at the end of the day, and although it isn't the most exciting thing in the world, it sure makes for a good purchase, simply because of Maruti Suzuki's immense after-sales support, hassle-free ownership, and high resale for most of their cars. So, if you want to make a safe choice, then you simply cannot do better than the new Maruti Dzire. The strengths that have helped the Dzire hold its own against the Honda Amaze and the Tata Tigor are still very much part of this new package. It is as practical and functional as ever, with a spacious cabin and a fairly long list of features. With this big new update, which includes a whole new design, more features, and a new engine that realistically feels more potent than the old K series engine, well, the Dzire has moved the goalpost in the compact sedan segment. Now, at this point, we cannot really wait to drive the new Honda Amaze, which will be launched around the same time as the Dzire. So let us know in the comments below which of these two compact sedans you would put your money on, and I'll see you in the next video.